Hey, good morning, Michael. How are you?
Good, Dennis. Good morning to you, my pal.
Good to see you, my friend. Hopefully you've had a great week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have too.
Well, last week was your week to have issues with the internet, and this week was mine.
It certainly was. Yes, absolutely. And
however, mine got fixed a lot quicker than yours did.
Yours certainly did. Obviously, you don't have AT&T.
No, I have Comcast.
There you go. So look, it's been a crazy week. Have you noticed about first of all?
Oh my God!
I'll tell you. My wife says I have to stop going on social media by myself because I get myself all worked up. I mean, boy, there were wars on social media this week.
There were.
It makes me laugh now. It used to make me really
upset. It makes you laugh when you're not.
Oh yeah, when I'm not the object, when I'm not the target.
Not the object, yeah, exactly.
But it's like we've created, social media is a great thing. It's really helped people stay connected. I mean, we're grateful.
But it has really allowed people to get whiskey muscles.
It has. They feel safety behind their computer screen or their...
So for those of you who don't know what whiskey muscles are, those are the kind of muscles you get after you've had a couple of whiskeys at the bar, and then you want to pick a fight with somebody because you think you're the strongest, meanest person in there.
Yeah, that's when there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, right?
Yeah, and so, this week first of all, I would like to say that any global company that comes after an individual says more about them than it says about her.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
And it's not right. And they come after everybody. They're big bullies.
Right.
They're the biggest bully on the playground. And if you don't agree with what they think or what they believe, God forbid.
That's right.
And the other thing is, we have people in our Guru Hair tribe that don't have the same philosophy or the same belief system, and we all get along.
Right.
However, we also allow those people to speak. And the problem lies within the company that thinks they can say whatever they want about anybody, but nobody better say anything about them.
Right. I think that social media has created what I call tribal behavior.
Yeah.
And it's created for a lot of people, if you're not part of my tribe, then I want nothing to do with you. Or you're obviously wrong. I'm sorry. We are, Sylvia, as a matter of fact. Thanks. Well, I guess you can tell I'm at home at the coffee shop.
Right.
And only those of you who know my lovely, darling wife, Sylvia, knows that she would exit the door speaking and come in speaking directives to me. So anyway, it's been quite interesting. Where was I? Tribal. Yes.
Yeah.
Tribal mentality. And here's the thing that if I could just if my fellow professionals would allow me to just share this advice, is that we're all really part of one tribe. And we have to understand that. And when we start battles on social media in front of the entire world, it does nothing for either party.
No, it doesn't.
And here's the reality, and you've heard me say it before. At the end of the day, the manufacturer's ultimate goal, above and beyond anything else, is to get you to buy their product. And so when someone contradicts maybe the way the product performs for them, or they question some of the stories, which you know how I feel about that, Michael. I believe that most of the science that people in our industry really have been given is really marketing science. It's not really science. So when that happens, to attack people is really unnecessary. You know, look, we grow much more if we help support each other, help each other grow, and help empower each other. So
Right.
thank God I wasn't in that battle. However, I am a walking wounded from battles in that situation. And with that, we will now move on to the next subject. Sound good?
Perfect.
But you know what really?
Talk about what it takes to get into a retailer.
Get into what?
Get into a retailer.
Getting to retail outlets?
Well, no, what it would take if Dennis Gebhardt had a product line and he wanted to sell at Sam's Club or Costco or Walmart or Kmart or Target.
All right, so here's what I know, because I've been in those meetings. One, you have to understand the hairdresser doesn't order the product, put it in a big cardboard box, and run over to Costco and go, hey, want to buy some shampoo? That's not the way that it's done.
No.
Diversion has been the word that has been used in our industry for at least, for me, at least 30 years. And you've had
I can't ever remember there not being diversion.
Exactly. And so here's what happens. Most of those large companies like that, they don't buy without an invoice. They don't buy without a product order sheet, and they don't buy by the cardboard box. They buy by the semi-trailer.
Yeah.
So that's the way those places buy. And in fact, there are places like Target where you can actually rent retail space in the store, and you can have the end caps where you can display your product. So let's not, and I'm not saying that everybody does that, but what I'm saying is you have to understand how that part of the business really works.
Yes.
Is it possible for diversion to exist? It is, because think about this. When I worked for a manufacturer, when they cut off a distributor, that distributor could not send the product back. The product, whatever they had in inventory, they had to hold on to. Exactly.
Were they able to, if their contract ended, were they able to sell out through what they had left? Was that allowed? Or were they
not in all cases, because in some cases, the manufacturer would have already contracted with another distributor.
Right.
Then they would write the letter of termination to the distributor they currently had, so that by the time that distributor received that letter of termination, the new distributor was already in the marketplace going in and saying, well, they don't have your product anymore, now we do.
Right.
In some cases, that distributor was stuck with product. So the resource that was available to them was, one, they could try to go ahead and sell it and probably discount it because they were selling against a competitor now. Now you had overlapping territory. Right. Or they could put it on a pallet, wrap it up, and ship it out to
the big
other vendors.
The big lots.
That's right.
Home goods. To
exactly.
Max,
yeah.
To I don't think that people realize that, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, they all purchase
right.
Either discontinued, expired products, or excess product from another retail sales.
Right, and that's not to not say that there, let's not forget that there are some unscrupulous people in this business.
Oh, right.
Who will order large amounts of product and they will be doing that same thing, shipping it off to vendors
Right.
to put it
Well, I
in
kind
the
of,
virgin market. Pardon me?
remember the one I traced down earlier in the year?
Oh, yes. In New York, right? We traced it down.
No, was it New York or was it Chicago?
I thought it was New York.
Yeah, I think it is New York. And it was, real close to
Right. And
real close to the home office.
right. And now some manufacturers actually figure diversion into their marketing plan, meaning that we have about a 24-month run. And then at the end of that 24 months, suddenly the product's going to start showing up all over. Because remember, for manufacturers, it's about exposure. I think we fool ourselves. You know, when a manufacturer comes to us, especially in the beginning, and says, look, we have a new product. We really want you to use it. We want you to tell people about it. We're going to make you an ambassador or an advocate or a certified specialist or whatever these little titles are they give to us. And so we start talking to our clients and we start telling them how great this product is rather than saying, I'm doing this for you. I'm really the one who knows how to use this product. So we build the exposure for that product. So eventually at the end of the line, manufacturer doesn't really need you anymore. You know, you can't get angry at your client for buying the product at the big box discount stores because for your client, they're following your recommendation. So they're doing what they thought you wanted them to do. You told them how great this product was, but but they're getting it on a special price. They don't see any harm in that. We get our feelings hurt because we're all so sensitive. We go, well, I turned you on to that product. You should always buy it from me. That would be great if they did, but that's not the real world. It's not the real world. So,
you know, I'm not, I refuse to be loyal to a bottle of Suds.
Well, you know,
to it because I can find something else that I like just as well.
Sure.
Or better. And, you know, the other thing is you guys really should watch Shark Tank and see what it takes.
Right.
Really get into one of those big box stores because you got to sign a contract for a year, 2 years that you're going to supply.
Right.
8 million pieces a month for the next 2 years.
Right.
You got to have some.
That's right.
You can't go in there and think that we got a half a semi load. That should get us through. No.
Right. Right.
And when they want to fill their shelves, they want to fill their shelves. They ain't going to wait for you to go steal another half a pallet.
Right. Yeah, I look at a manufacturer as I compare their loyalty. I believe that loyalty is conditional today.
And they have no loyalty to us, so there's no reason for us to have any loyalty to them.
Right.
If they do have loyalty to us, then you better hold on to them and nurture that relationship because I will tell you, there are things that I do like, and I will nurture that relationship, but I'm not going to be undercut or undersold. And the minute that it shows up in a retail environment, I'm done.
Right.
And I don't care who's responsible for it.
That's true.
And hold everybody to the same standards.
Yes. Everyone.
Don't allow one company, and we talked about this on the last damn Cawfee Tawlk.
I know, you're getting on your soapbox.
And because these people with these big social media followings, and they get on there and say, well, they make an excuse for this person and that person, and well, I understand why they're selling it there, but I'm not going to buy any more Redken because, goddammit, they're selling at Ulta, and they're undercutting me, and I can't. Well, guess what? The other people are doing the same shit to you.
Right. You have to build loyalty from your clients or guests. You have to build their loyalty in you, not in the products you use. Many people have heard me say this. My clients have no idea what hair color products I use. I don't know how to discuss that with them. It's about their hair, and it's about me knowing how to make the products work.
Right.
So I try to, you build that reputation in yourself. And I think some people have a hard time doing that because many of us in this business really are kind of in doubt of our self-esteem. I know that sounds crazy, but, it's when I hear people, they get their feelings hurt because their client left them for somebody else. Well, look, as my mentor would say, listen, put on your big boy pants. Your clients didn't get stolen from you. You gave them away. It had something to do with the way you built your relationship with them.
Yeah.
So we have to build our clients' loyalty to us, not to the products that we use. One of the things I always tell a client first time in consultation is that I'm going to be prescribing products for you to use that you are required to use on your hair between salon visit. My prescription may change based upon the needs of your hair and the products that I find that work a little bit better.
Right.
And so that they understand that I'm the expert. I'm the person that has a license.
Right. You're the doctor.
I'm the person they paid for the advice. And for many people in our industry, that's a hard thing to do because we've always been used to, it's even in consultation, when a client comes in, you hear many hairdressers start the consultation by saying, what kind of haircut did you want? Or what color were you interested in? Or even worse, what are we doing today? Have you ever heard someone say that in the salon? They walk up to the client and they go, what are we doing? And the client goes, wait a minute. Don't you have my appointment on your book? I just think it's an area where we really need to, really develop ourselves.
We really need to hone our craft.
We do. Yeah. Absolutely.
And, it's really funny because we're sitting here talking about that, and look what I happen to have. So this is my
Ab Fab.
Yeah. So this was when I had my big salon and spa, and this is a prescription pad.
Right.
Everybody had at their station.
Right.
So the little RX symbol, we made it look. And so this was what everybody had, these pads at their station, and they would be able to write down that, and then they would go up to the front and they would put this with the products.
Right.
While the customer was changing. And by the time they got out of there, I said, you need to be gone, because I had, that worked at my front desk, my friend from high school, Tim, and he was the #1 salesperson for Saab, like 4 or 5 years in a row. So he knew how to close the deal.
There you go. There you go.
And all my people had to do when he was working was I said, you need to set 5 products up there. A shampoo, a conditioner, some products, and oil.
Why 5?
Well, because then hopefully they'd buy 3 of those.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
That's what Tim wanted. He wanted 5 products.
That's a statistic.
Because if you only put 1 up there,
they may or may not buy it.
They may or may not buy it. So you better put more options than that up there.
No, Michael, that's a sales tool that you're taught.
Yeah.
If you put 5, the odds are they're going to buy 3.
Right.
Okay, I know it sounds crazy, but probably 90% of the time it works. But Michael, I'm making notes here. I didn't know you were going to bring props this morning. So I'm making notes that Michael brings props and doesn't tell me when he's bringing props.
Well, I didn't even think, you know what, we started talking about.
Okay, don't you worry. I'm bringing a prop next week. I'm going to bring 2 or 3.
Shut up.
You might even see a mannequin head moving on the side of it.
A scratched piece of paper.
I'm kidding.
Oh my God! You talk about the props.
You're going to see my flip chart come sliding in behind me.
I might share my screen then.
Listen, how did we get to this point? We weren't even going to talk about this.
No, we weren't going to talk about any of this shit.
So, so look, that kind of we need to kind of move maybe on to one more subject, and then
yeah,
and then get to the final stuff, so that people aren't hanging on here with us all day long. So, look, can I just real quickly talk about what ticks me off?
Can I stop you?
You're saying, how can you talk about that quickly, Dennis? You're absolutely right. It's a long diatribe. You've sat through my diatribe. So here's the thing I do. Like I said last week, you think that this whole thing, the answers to some of these questions get answered, and then before you know it, they show back up again.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a rash you can't get rid of,
It's like a mosquito bite.
Because somebody keeps scratching it. So on social media, I saw a very influential person talking about they were doing a balayage, which really wasn't a balayage, because if you watch what they were doing an ombre. So, and that's called umbra, by the way. Yeah, so anyway,
English is this.
I don't want to step on the toes of that person.
English is his second language, Dennis.
By people going, I know who he's talking about. But anyway, he was talking about doing a balayage. Now, most hair lightening or hair painting is done away from the scalp area, okay?
Yeah.
But they expressed a concern that he had to stay away, and he was like at least 1.5 inches away from the hot scalp. Okay, so look, I'm going to say this to you one more time, everyone. Scalp heat has nothing to do with hair's lightening ability. Is there scalp heat? Mild scalp heat. The internal body temperature is actually 92.3. Not all of us have the same body temperature. But in any case, the reason hair lightens more dramatically closer to the scalp is because it is soft, keratinized protein. That's science. That means it's going to react more. It's not totally keratinized yet. So it
doesn't have a hard crust on it.
Right. It's not got its hard shell. It's like a baby turtle.
It is. It's soft.
It's soft. And so it's going to respond more dramatically. And it just really ticks me off when people, perpetuate that story.
Well, yeah, and especially when they own a color line.
Yeah, shh, quiet. No more to be said.
I said it, you didn't.
But it just...
There's lots of people that own color lines.
Yeah.
But when you own something like that, know your shit. Come on.
Right. Yeah, I believe that you should. But in any case, those kind of things upset me. And so that's why I always say you have to research anything that you're taught. Anything you hear someone saying, it doesn't matter what their status is in the industry. If it doesn't make sense to you, question it. Do your own research. And I think it will be more successful. So hopefully hot scalp will go away again. Look, it'll probably come back in October, like that itchy rash.
Yeah. Like I said, and that person isn't the only person that owns a color line that doesn't know the first thing.
Oh, no, lots of people do.
Yeah, they sure do.
All right, so I covered that pretty quickly. You had something you wanted to talk about when it comes to ingredients. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. So we had this come up in, it was in the Hair Tribe forum. And we were talking about bleach bundles. And we looked up Joico Intensity Color Eraser. And it didn't appear to people as though it had a bleach bundle in it, because the words they were using had prefixes and different suffixes to them but the center of the word was still the same. And so I wanted Dennis to explain a little bit about how you can change the name of the chemical with it just being, you know, the same thing. And also I wanted to tell you guys that Jennifer Hernan has posted 2 things on Instagram that you need to go see. One is a resource for you that we found this weekend that is absolutely phenomenal, but I'm not telling you what it is. You got to go there and get it off IG. And if you would please like and share or whatever you do on IG, well, yeah, you double tap it and give it a heart. And then make a comment or something. We'd appreciate it. We would love that. And maybe we'll, I don't know, give you a cookie or a bozo button for something. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that. So there's 2 things that she posted. One was that guru resource, so that's something. And then the other thing was the customer service thing. So Dennis, go ahead and tell us how you can change the name of a chemical.
Well, Michael, in chemistry, the magic in chemistry is that if I change just one component of a formula,
right,
I can change the name. I'll give you an example with ammonia. All right.
Very good. Yes.
Ammonia is NH3. Okay.
Right.
Diagram that
is
out.
Ammonia.
Pardon me?
The N is ammonia.
No,
N is nitrogen.
Yeah, NH3. If you diagram it out, what NH3 means is one nitrogen molecule holding 3 hydrogen molecules in suspension. If I take one of those hydrogen molecules and I replace it with alcohol, I now can change the name because it is no longer ammonia.
So now it's NH2. NH2, what's the...
well, what it is, it's changed the name to monoethanolamine.
Okay.
Monoethanolamine. So break the word down.
Mono is 1.
Mono is 1. Ethanol.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. Amine is a family member of ammonia.
Right.
Monoethanolamine, MEA. So the difference between MEA and ammonia is virtually negligible. Ammonia is about a pH of 10.6. MEA is a pH of 10.5. The difference in the 2 ingredients. Ammonia
one is a gas and one is a liquid, correct?
Yeah, one is a volatile and one is fit.
Right. So the ammonia is the gas or the volatile, and it is a rapid
ammonia
rapidly
right,
breaks
the gas that escapes from the color process. So basically in most color processes, ammonia has gone away within the first 15 minutes of the process.
Right, and you can
the reason that you think it's still there is because of its very pungent fragrance. But what is still there, what is still remaining there many times is MEA. MEA is a fixed alkali, meaning that it continues to work. Steady. Right.
Alkalizer.
So that's just one ingredient, and you can go through the entire list. Many times when people say, when public says we have an issue with this, then the people formulating the product, they will take and use what we call a side chain. So they'll only use a portion of the original componentry and add a few things to it so that then they can change the name.
And get by with it.
Exactly.
So let's very quickly, let's talk about MEA versus AMP.
MEA versus AMP. MEA and AMP are pretty much the same thing.
Right.
There is a belief system that AMP is less aggressive than MEA is, that it doesn't dry the hair out as much as MEA, high concentrations of MEA. But truly, AMP has bad side effects just like MEA does. It all depends on what your opinion of that is. You know, so
Right, and it's aminomethyl propylene, right?
yes,
Propylene? Yeah.
I think that's what it is. AMP. If you just Google AMP, you know, I can give you the name if I would have known you were going to ask me. But
Well, anyway, they can go to the resource that Jennifer posted, and oh my God, you're going to make sure that you have a couple hours of spare time, because you're going to get stuck there.
right.
I'm telling you, you're going to get stuck. You're going to have a great time, especially all you chem nerds out there.
Right. And you know what? Let me say this, because you mentioned a brand. Is it?
I did.
You did. You did. You mentioned the Big E. There's nothing wrong with making a bleach. Nothing wrong with that at all. My concern is that if you tell people it's not a bleach, and yet it is, then see, in our industry, I find, and the reason I always say in our industry, because I've been in this industry for almost 4 decades, okay?
Well, it's the only industry you really...
And the behaviors of my fellow professionals have not really changed that much. It's pretty consistent throughout our business. When we hear the information and we hear it say, well, it's not a bleach, but it does this, then we feel that gives us an opportunity at this point, then we can be more blasé. We can be more casual with the use of this ingredient because it's not going to damage the hair. It's like when there's products who come out and they say this product will lighten the hair, but there's no damage. Well, that's impossible because you can't lighten hair without degrading the protein structure of the hair.
Right.
Or if someone comes out and says, well, this won't lighten the hair, won't damage the hair because you're only applying it to one side of the hair and not to the other side. That's a bunch of nonsense. When you put a chemical on the hair strand, you know, so that's why people get this feeling that it's great. In fact, I'll tell you a story. I'll try and make this short. When we launched Shades of Q in 1988, one of the taglines for that product was a hair color that thinks it's a conditioner. And you know what? Redken had to stop saying that because even with Shades of Q, because people said, it's a conditioner. Let's just put it on the hair, no problem. I'll go check it in a couple of hours. Nothing gonna happen. It's permanent hair color. So you can have issues, especially because now people are trying to mix it with 10 and 20 volume and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. We all should have these like little witch hats, you know, so we go back to the back room and we stir our cauldron of juice, right? Playing this really dramatic music, put in a little eye of newt, right. A little lizard skin.
Right.
It's the way people...
Dr. Bombay, emergency, come right away.
Right. It's crazy. And
well,
when a color goes sideways, we don't want to accept responsibility for it. We say, well, have you been on medication? Well, I take aspirin. Well, you're on medication. That's why it didn't work.
Oh, my God. I love that.
Right? I mean, it's crazy. Instead of understanding how the products work. Blows me away.
So I've got to admit to something. So that little, Redken was still saying that about Shades of Q when I started working with L'Oreal. And we had a product called Diacolor.
Right.
And we used to say, well, you know, because we were trying to switch that was before L'Oreal owned Redken. And
right.
So we were going to switch all of these salons over to Diacolor from Shades of Q. And we used to say, well, yeah, but Shades of Q is a color that thinks it's a conditioner. And I said, yeah, but Diacolor is a color that knows it's a conditioner.
I love it. That's how those stories all started. But that's
it's our fault.
Yeah,
our fault.
So anyway, that's what happened. So when you see a name, and when you hear someone tell you, well, it's when they spend more time telling you what it's not instead of telling you what it is, then I get worried. Don't you get worried when they say that?
Yeah.
I get worried. You know, I mean, here's
or have you ever have you ever been in the salon and you hear one of the stylists say, oh, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Yep. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You know, it's going to be okay. You better be worried if the hairdressers start saying, well, it's going to be okay. Because they don't know that it's going to be okay. They're trying to convince themselves it's going to be okay.
They're going outside and having about 14 cigarettes and
right, and lighting a candle in the back room.
Yeah, praying to the color gods, Pokey and Gumby. Don't make it green. Don't make it orange. I'll take something in between.
Right.
It's very interesting. And like I say, the behaviors in 2017 are not that much different than the behaviors that they had in 19.
I think it's just the nature of the beast. I think it's because a lot of times the hairdresser or the salon professional is so melodramatic, and they're so this and they're so that, and they don't really, I'm not a salesman and I'm not a chemist, and you are a salesman and you should have some chemical knowledge and you should have all those things. Don't say that you're not these things when that is part of your job.
Well, I think you're right. I think it goes
career. I don't think this isn't something that you get into because you need a job. This is something that you get into when you want a career.
Right. Yeah, I think it comes from not having good grounding.
Yeah.
It also comes from we think we're artists and we say we're not chemists. But if you really understand art, then you would know that some of the greatest artists of the 21st century, they understood the difference between using whale oil, paint with whale oil, or paint with linseed oil. They understood the difference of painting on a canvas or painting on metal. They understood how to manipulate their products to create effects that they were looking for.
Yes.
So even when we use that artiste story, understand that even the most creative artist, if you think about glass blowers, or you think about woodworkers, or you think about any art form.
Well, think about Leonardo da Vinci.
Right. All of these people understand the interworkings of how their products work. So I think that was another reason. I think also in our industry, we didn't spend enough time training people on the basic skills that they need.
Yeah.
And that's why we have a lot of this, and sometimes we'd rather believe a story that makes it easy rather than trying to figure it out ourselves. I believe that the interest might be there, but it's like when people say I'm not a salesperson. Well, you are. Everybody's a salesperson. Every human being is a salesperson. When I was a little kid, when you were a little kid,
even if you're dating, you gotta sell yourself.
If you wanted something really bad, you figured out who you were going to talk to about it, and you figured out what you were going to say. Because that's called a sales pitch.
Why are you needing a new fresh box of Crayolas?
Right. So I think that's where our industry, and that's why the mannerisms have stayed consistent, because we haven't changed the foundational education for people entering into our business. And until that changes to be relevant to the time, then we're going to have really challenge. We're going to have issues. But that's a whole nother subject for a different day. We don't have enough time to talk about that.
No, we don't. And I have a whole program written out what really a person should have.
And maybe we'll cover that on another show.
Yeah.
So look, let's talk about upcoming education for August. What do we got going?
Oh, your Master Series 2, the color correction portion.
Right. Master Series is August 13th and 14th.
Yep.
It is 2-day color correction. If you're in the series, it'll be your second class. If you're not in the series, you're more than welcome to sign up for that class. You can register online.
Yeah, and you don't have to have number 1 to do number 2.
Right. And you're presented.
That's not what I meant.
You're presented with the mannequin on day 1.
Yeah.
Photograph. And that mannequin probably has all the color correction scenarios you could ever imagine in your life. And you have to make that mannequin, the entire head, look like the picture by the end of day 2. So that will be Master Series, August 13th and 14th. And then our second PET training is coming up on the 20th and 21st.
Right.
For those who don't know what PET is, it's Performance Engagement Training. It is training for trainers, exactly, to help them understand how to make their educational programs more effective. And it's a great program. People who've gone through it have already, tremendous difference from when they began on day 1.
Yes, and how to connect with your audience.
Absolutely. And so that really is what we have happening in August. We're rescheduling Moulin Rouge.
Right.
And we're going to have that posted up here really soon. Yes, good. And then, of course, we have the gathering in September.
Yes, which is a lot of work, and we're working on it. We have Lisa Enos from the Upstyle Showcase will be there.
Right.
Live and in person. Dennis Gebhardt, of course, will be there. Sprinkling his magic over the crowd. And Sandra
Avila, Sylvia Gebhardt.
Sylvia will be doing texture. Sandra Avila will be color techniques. Lisa will be doing upstyling. Anthony Presotto will be the satellite from Oz or Australia.
Right.
He will be teaching design. He'll be teaching a haircut or something. A haircut and some business tips. And
possibly another surprise or two, but we'll let you know later.
Possibly another surprise or two.
We're offering a special on that right now. If they sign up, August 10th.
Through August 10th, you may sign up and get it for $97 off. So your total is $600 instead of $697. So you have almost a $100 discount on that. The other special that we have is Bring 3, You're Free.
Right.
It's not in conjunction with any other offer. So if Michael Van Horn goes and he brings Jennifer Hernan, Dennis Gebhardt, and Sylvia Gebhardt, then Michael gets his ticket free, and those other schmucks got to pay for it.
Right. Or all 4 of them.
Or all 4 of us can split.
Total of 3 tickets.
Can split the total of 3 tickets, which is really what I would do.
Right.
But anyway, I was just teasing.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah. So anyway, Michael, we are setting it. We got about 2 minutes, and we got to wrap this up, my friend.
Okay. Well,
anything we missed?
I don't think so. So you guys can get in contact with me. The newsletter will be going out in a few days here. And I think that one of your surprises at the Guru Gathering is I may come on via satellite and do a little ditty for you.
That would be great.
And sing a song or do a dance.
Yeah, that would be good.
No, I think I will come on and do something for you. So,
good.
Everybody.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, just one thing. I'm going to do a plug for my wife, everybody. My wife, not only is she a phenomenal educator in this industry, but she's just starting her own YouTube channel on cooking. And it's called Smoking Hot Eats with Sylvia Gebhardt. So,
yeah. And you guys, Dennis, don't ever feel sorry for Dennis. He eats a gourmet meal. every single day of his life.
Except not today. I won't have a gourmet lunch because she's gone. And tonight, probably because she gets home late. But in any case, we're excited about that. So, look, for everybody who's...
Nice violins playing just
today,
anyway. And you guys look for our Cawfee Tawlks with the artists that are going to be at the Guru Gathering.
Right. We'll be having those shows
we're going to do little 15-minute talks with them so that you can get to know them, if you don't already, and talk about what they're going to do at the gathering, okay?
Right. So for everybody who's watching this, if you like what we're doing, please share it with your friends. For those of you who follow us on YouTube, we invite you, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notified when we put a new post up on YouTube. And I think that is about it for me today, my friend. So, as I always say, from my heart to yours, I'm Captain Color. I'm out. Michael, how about you?
I'm out. Bye.
Bye.